That's crazy. How do you feel about getting older? I think it stinks. Well, it's been 20 years since this video aired, and boy has Cher changed. At 80, she's no longer a symbol of strength, invention, and timeless talent. She's now facing one of the hardest times of her life. After decades in the spotlight, winning hearts with her music, acting, and unapologetic personality, she's now dealing with personal problems that have left her fans heartbroken, despite her larger-than-life personality. Life Persona Cher is a real person, and recent problems show how vulnerable we all are as we get older. Shar's story becomes even more relatable during this sad time, showing that even the brightest stars can have bad times. Do you really know about the tragic life behind the fame of Cher, the pop goddess? What is she up to now? What problems is she hiding from the world? Let's find out. Cher is an American singer, actress, and TV personality who was born on May 20th, 1946. She came from a broken family and was raised by her young mother, Georgia Holt, and her father, John Cher. Their short and difficult relationship ended in divorce when Cher was only 10 months old, leaving her deeply affected by the instability. Cher didn't know much about her father and was picked on and made fun of at school when she was 11. Cher's mom briefly got back together with John Sarkeesian, but their relationship ended again. Due to his drug and gambling problems, Holt's third husband, John Southall, eventually came into Cher's life and became a more stable father figure. "If I could turn back time, this might be what I would change," Cher once said. As Cher admitted in Parade, "My childhood was pretty rough." Her mother dated 7 times, including twice to John Cher, and had several affairs, which meant their relationship was unstable. Remembering a time when she and her mother were poor, Cher said she felt really bad about her clothes and how her mother would often get angry and tell her to stop complaining because they couldn't afford shoes. She also remembered wearing a rubber band around her shoes to keep the soles from falling off to school. But things hadn't always been that bad. She said that at one point they lived on stew or beans for a whole week. Not all of Cher's childhood was hard. There were times when they lived in. Cher dropped out of school in the 11th grade when she was 16 years old because her life was so unstable in her early years because of her difficult situation. Cher made the brave choice to leave her home and move to Los Angeles, but she wasn't going alone. She wanted to move in with her boyfriend at the time, Sonny Bono. Little did she know that this teenage. Even though things were hard, there were times when things got better, like when she moved to Beverly Hills. Cher's life was full of dramatic ups and downs, which were caused by her mother's many relationships and the instability that caused. In her autobiography, Cher wrote about the first time she met Sonny and how interested she was in anything new. From the moment Sonny walked through the door, she was speechless, and she remembered telling herself that things had changed and she would never be the same again. By 1965, when their famous hit song "I Got You Babe" came out, they seemed to be on top of the world. But behind the scenes, things weren't as perfect as the song made it sound. Years after her divorce from Bono, Cher told Vanity Fair in 1990 that she didn't think Sonny had ever really loved her. She talked about how he treated her when they were together. Sonny Bono later said that his fame had turned him into a controlling sex worker. Cher admitted that Sonny had started treating her more like a golden goose than a wife. She said that she wouldn't have left him if he wasn't so controlling. Cher's move to a solo career after her divorce from Sonny Bono in 1975 was a story of strength and change. Sonny and Cher had always been seen as a duo. So when they broke up, she had to figure out who she was without him and what she wanted to do on her own. Cher had always believed in the power of reinvention, whether it was through music or acting. Each change was about finding new parts of herself and showing what she could bring to the table. After her divorce, she knew she had to show she could stand tall on her own when she was no longer with Sonny. Sunshine and Cher's early solo albums, like Stars in 1966 and The Way of Love in 1972, didn't quite live up to her hopes. She admitted that they didn't have the impact she had hoped for, and it was hard for her to find her footing. However, Cher wasn't going to give up because she knew she had more to offer than just her past success with Sonny. She kept going, trying out new sounds and working on new projects with other artists. She wanted to reinvent herself and show the world that she was more than the duo she used to be in. Her big break as a solo artist came in 1974, when her album Dark Lady came out. The title track, which told a haunting story about a fortune teller's betrayal, quickly rose to the top of the Billboard Hot 100 for Cher. This was a turning point Dark Lady proved that she could succeed on. She was no longer defined by her past. She was no longer just Sonny and Cher. She had truly become Cher. Building on her success, Cher continued to try new musical styles. When she released Take Me Home in 1979, she joined the disco craze, saying she wanted to try something new. Songs like Take Me Home and Hell on Wheels were hits, and Cher finally felt like she was on her own. People noticed that even though Cher's acting career was going well, she never stopped making music. In the late 1980s, her album Cher, which included the hit singles I Found Someone and We All Sleep Alone, helped her return to the top of the charts. However, it was her album Heart of Stone, which came out in 1989, that really made her famous. Acclaimed, the album's hit single If I Could Turn Back Time is seen by many as one of Cher's signature songs. Critics have said that her raspy voice and powerful stage presence helped her become a major player in the music industry again. It has also been said that her ability to adapt to changing music styles from disco to rock was a big part of her long-lasting success. Shar's refusal to be limited to one genre or image helped her grow with each new stage of her career. It was said that Cher's early career was marked by significant financial success. In the 1960s, she became famous as part of the musical duo Sonny and Cher. Their TV show, The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, which ran from 1971 to 1974, was said to be hugely popular and profitable. Cher's solo music career included hits like Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. Half-Breed was said to have helped her finances even more. However, Cher's money management wasn't always as good as her artistic achievements. She made a lot of money from music, TV, and movies, but it was hard to keep track of all that money and make different personal and business decisions. Challenges. Cher's next serious relationship was with Gregg Allman, a volatile Southern rock musician who formed the Allman Brothers Band. The couple had a short marriage that was quickly ruined by Allman's drug abuse, which led Cher to file for divorce after only 9 days. Allman admitted in his autobiography My Cross to Bear that he had done heroin on their first date, but it wasn't until once they were married, Cher realized how bad his drug addiction was. In his autobiography, Gregg Allman wrote that one morning he woke up and told Cher that he was addicted to drugs. Cher was determined to help him and tried many things to support him through his addiction, but nothing worked. When their son Elijah Blue was born, things changed a bit. But Cher wasn't giving up. Later, Cher said that even though she loved Gregg, she didn't feel safe leaving Elijah alone with him. It was hard for her to understand how someone who was struggling with addiction could also be a father. Their joint album failed to do well with critics and fans alike, but it was their tour that ended their relationship for good. In an interview, Cher talked about how Gregory was a unique person. Man was a Southern gentleman who struggled with drugs. He really tried to quit, but it wasn't easy. Even after her success in Silkwood 1983, Cher still had doubters about her acting skills, even though her roles in Mask 1985 and The Witches of Eastwick 1987 earned her praise. Still, some people didn't believe her. For example, in Mask, she played Rusty Dennis, the mother of a boy with a severe facial deformity. The role got her a lot of praise and even an Academy Award nomination, but some reviewers thought it was just luck. The same thing happened in The Witches of Eastwick. Some people thought Cher's success was due more to her fame than to her acting skills, even though she gave a great performance in Moonstruck 1987, where she played Loretta Castorini, a widow who falls in love with her fiancé's brother. Her performance was a mix of humor, emotion, and raw authenticity, which is why she won the Academy Award for Best Actress. Some critics still couldn't fully separate her from her pop star past, seeing her success as more of an extension of her music fame than a recognition of her acting talent. Sonny Bono's sudden death shocked the world in 1998. Bono was known for his work as a musician, actor, and politician. In the 1980s, Bono made the surprising move from entertainment to politics. He was mayor of Palm Springs, California, from 1988 to 1992, where he became known for his dedication to local issues and his ability to connect with his constituents. During his political career, Bono fought for environmental causes and worked to improve the quality of life in his community. His move from entertainment to politics showed that he wanted to make a difference in the world beyond fame. In 1994, Bono was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, a representative as a Republican from California's 44th Congressional District. During his time in office, Bono fought for a number of causes, such as environmental protection, education, and economic growth. Bono's rise from fame to politics showed that he was able to reinvent himself and was truly committed to public service. Unfortunately, on January 5, 1998, Sonny Bono tragically died in a skiing accident. Bono crashed into a tree at the Heavenly Ski Resort in Lake Tahoe, California, and died from his injuries. The news of his death spread quickly, leaving fans, co-workers, and politicians in shock. The suddenness of his death was a stark reminder of how fragile life is and how unpredictable fate can be. Bono's death led to a flood of tributes and memories from all over the world. Fans and peers around the world thought about what he did in politics, entertainment, and music. His ex-partner Shar spoke of her deep sadness, remembering their history together and how Bono had affected her life and career. In her statement, she recognized Bono's unique place in the entertainment industry. Politicians and Bono's colleagues paid their respects, pointing out how dedicated and passionate he was for public service. Many praised his ability to bridge the gap between fame and politics, saying that his genuine concern for the issues he fought for was clear throughout his career. Bono's dedication to his constituents and his efforts to make a positive difference were widely recognized and celebrated. After Bono's death, there were many memorials. After his death, awards and honors were given for his work in music, and his political legacy was remembered through his continued work on the issues he fought for. Bono had an impact on both the entertainment industry and politics, as shown by how he affected the lives of those around him. Cher was deeply saddened by the loss and gave a heartfelt speech. Eulogy at Sonny's funeral, she said that he was the most memorable person she had ever met. She also said that no matter how long she lived or who she met, Sonny would always have a special place in her heart. Later, Cher talked about their lifelong friendship and said that she had come to forgive him, even though it was hard. She acknowledged the hurt he caused her. Cher also said that her ex-husband was more than just a husband. She called him a terrible husband, but also a great mentor and teacher. She also said that if he had just agreed to fairly divide their business deals, she probably would not have left him in the first place. In addition to the formal tributes, many people who knew Sonny Bono personally felt a deep sense of loss. It was reported that his co-workers, friends, and family shared their memories and thoughts on his life, focusing on how kind, funny, and dedicated he was. They agreed that his death left a big hole and that his work and character would live on in the hearts of those who knew him. Many people thought about how deeply everyone felt when Sonny Bono died. Many people said that Bono's varied career in music, TV, and politics had a big impact on the entertainment industry and public life. Others said that Bono's amazing ability to reinvent himself and his genuine dedication to his work were two of the most impressive things about his life. In the morning, the world celebrated Sonny Bono's lasting influence, with his legacy continuing to inspire and resonate with many as Cher's career took off in the 1960s, especially after her breakthrough with Sonny Bono as part of the duo Sonny and Cher. She started having serious health problems. One of her most well-known battles was with chronic fatigue syndrome, or CFS. Cher was diagnosed with CFS in the late 1980s, when the condition wasn't well understood or recognized by doctors. CFS is a complex disorder that causes extreme fatigue that can't be explained by a single cause. Because by an underlying medical condition, this fatigue gets worse with physical or mental activity, but not with rest. Other symptoms include headaches, memory loss, and trouble focusing. For example, her illness was making her weak, and she had to take a break from her career when she was at the top of her game. At first, she didn't want to talk about her illness in public because she thought it would make her look weak, but as it got worse, she had no choice but to. In interviews, Cher has talked about how hard this time was for her, saying that she felt trapped in her own body and couldn't perform at her normal level. She spent several years focusing on her health, going through different treatments and therapies to manage her symptoms. Cher once said that her battle with chronic fatigue syndrome was a major turning point in her life, and even though she eventually went back to performing, she knew that the illness had changed her. Cher also talked about her other health problems, saying that in her 40s she started to have chronic pain, mostly in her back. It got so bad that she needed multiple surgeries, including spinal surgery, and she still deals with that pain today. When it comes to pain management, Cher said that people don't realize how much physical pain she goes through because her choreography performances have really hurt her body. Cher has also opened up about her other health problems. Cher has been open about her struggles with depression, saying that she has had rhinoplasty and some dental work. She saw these as personal choices that helped her keep up her looks and ability to perform, even when her health wasn't always on her side. When it comes to her mental health, Cher has said that she struggles with depression, just like many people in the entertainment industry do. The pressures of fame and her. She talked about Sonny's death in 1998 and said it was one of the hardest things she had ever been through. Even though they got divorced in 1975, they stayed close, and losing him in that skiing accident hit her harder than she could have imagined, leaving her with a deep sense of loss that affected her emotional health. Cher said she was already having problems with her mental health, but after Sonny's death, the grief became too much for her to handle. Dealing with that tragedy was very hard. When talking about getting older in Hollywood, Cher admitted that it's hard. She's always felt pressured to keep up her looks and look young, which can make her feel insecure and anxious, but she's come to accept that she can't stop time. Despite these problems, Cher stressed how important it is to self-acceptance. She wouldn't let her age define her because she thought that everyone should love themselves no matter what age they are. Her advocacy work was also an important part of her journey. She talked about how important it was to speak out about health problems like chronic fatigue syndrome, because she had dealt with them herself and wanted others to know they weren't alone. Shar has been a strong supporter of HIV and AIDS research, saying that losing so many friends to AIDS in the 1980s and 1990s was heartbreaking. This experience inspired her to raise awareness, funds, and support for research and prevention efforts. When it comes to mental health, Cher has always been open about her struggles with depression and anxiety, stressing that it's okay to get help and that there's no shame in taking care of one's mental health. Reflects on her health journey and strength, saying that she has overcome many physical and emotional challenges but always finds a way to get back on her feet. She attributes her resilience to her family, especially her mother, who taught her to never give up on spirituality and positive thinking. Cher has said that she doesn't follow a specific religion but deeply believes in the power of positive thinking and staying connected to herself, which has helped her get through hard times. Cher remembered that when she and Sonny first started out, many people didn't know how to see her. Her unique look and style didn't fit the typical pop star mold, which led to skepticism in the industry. Some people even doubted her talent, seeing her as just Sonny's creative work. Despite the criticism, Cher kept working hard. Cher has talked a lot about how important it is to have positive and supportive people around her, especially during hard times. Friends and family have helped her get through everything. When she talked about her career problems, Cher said that after she broke up with Sonny, she had to make her own way and many people didn't believe she could do it. She had to work hard to prove herself as a solo artist. Her early solo work, including songs like Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves and Half-Breed, went against social norms and got a lot of negative feedback. Cher also talked about her acting career, saying that when she started acting, many people in Hollywood were skeptical because they saw her as just a pop star trying to break into a new field. To show them they were wrong, she took on difficult roles and worked hard to show that she was more than what people thought she was. Winning the Academy Award for Moonstruck was a big moment in her life, but she still got criticism for not fitting the typical Hollywood mold. Instead of giving up, she used those problems as motivation to keep going. She talked about how closely people looked at her romantic relationships. She said that her marriages to Sonny and Greg were widely reported on, and when those relationships ended, it was very hard for her. The media often put her personal life ahead of her work, which hurt her credibility as a serious artist. She said that living on her own terms while facing such harsh judgment was a painful reality on her journey with. Cher said that when her son Chaz Bono came out as transgender, she had a hard time at first because she had to face her own biases, but through self-reflection and growth, she became one of Chaz's biggest supporters. Cher learned that real acceptance starts at home and requires deep personal change. She also talked about how the entertainment industry can be. Even after her hit song Believe, Cher Sarkeesian was criticized for her age and looks, but she has never let that stop her. She's been close to obscurity many times, but she always manages to come back. Cher is proud to be an active artist no matter what age she is. Her journey shows how talented and strong she is. She has talked openly about her struggles with chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic pain, and depression, which has helped others. Cher's work to fight stigmas around mental health and chronic illness has made more people aware of these important issues, and her story is an inspiration to fans all over the world. Cher also talked about her strength in the face of health problems, saying that she keeps going even though things are hard. Her struggles have made her stronger and more determined, and it was said that Char's legacy went beyond her work in music and movies. It also stood for courage, advocacy, and a strong commitment to living life on her own terms. That was Char's inspiringly painful life. Do you think she is still killing it at 80? Let us know in the comments below, and if you like this video, you might also like this one about Blake Shelton.